On May 29, 2015, around 1:30 a.m. on the north side of Chicago, a woman is in a car with her father on Lawrence and Winthrop in the Uptown neighborhood when she notices a newer model car traveling in reverse on Lawrence Avenue coming from Kenmore Avenue with the rear driver's side door open. The car then reversed direction on Lawrence and turned back down Kenmore. As the woman and her father reached the intersection on Kenmore, they heard gunshots and saw a man running towards the car she had just seen with the back door open. The car then reversed again and went through an alley where it disappeared. Shaquan Thomas had just been shot multiple times in the back, and he was later pronounced dead. He's better known, of course, as Young Pappy.
Oh, shit. As soon as they said the north side and went through in Lawrence, I'm like, I think they talking about Pappy, but I ain't said Young Pappy. Do your homework on Young Pappy, shorty. Now, there's a lot of rumors about Young Pappy getting killed. You know what I'm saying? I heard a lot of it. And the number one rumor is what this video is about. The police set it up and the police let it happen. And the police made sure that the person who did it ain't get caught. Because the police on the north side, they hated Young Pappy. You got to understand the north side is not, the north side got like maybe 2 or 3 hoods. The north side is not filled with hoods. The north side is downtown and a lot of white people around these hoods. You see what I'm saying? So you 10 minutes away from nice neighborhoods with million dollar houses and shit. But you right down the street where niggas getting whacked. And Young Pappy was one of them niggas. He was rapping, he was clapping. He was a real menace to society out there, boy. You hear me? And the police hated that nigga. So I wouldn't be surprised, folks.
If you don't, what's not common, however, is for associates of the victim to insist that the police gave away his location to an enemy gang. Now, before you say this is highly unlikely, I'd like you to consider an important fact. This is Chicago. In 2007, boy. A suburban police sergeant in the Chicago area, Drew Peterson, was accused of murder for hire when he tried to have the state's attorney killed while he was being accused of killing his own wife, a crime he would later be found guilty of. In that same year, Jerome Finnegan, a Chicago police officer from the Elite Special Operations Unit, was accused of trying to have another officer murdered who was supposedly going to be a witness against him in a federal investigation. And also in the same year, a former Chicago cop, Edward Leak, paid to have the limousine driver of his uncle's funeral home assassinated. And in 2014, the year before Pappy's murder, Officer Jason Van Dyke shot a man as he was walking away with his back turned, and despite the fact that the whole thing was captured on video, he lied and said the man lunged at him with a knife, a story that was quickly disproven, and the officer was found guilty.
It took a long time for him to go to jail for that too. One of my homies from Kenwood, the person he killed was his cousin.
It was second-degree murder, but he only served 3 years before being released. Now, although there are good cops in Chicago, there are many gangs of officers in the city that pretty much do whatever they want. To say Chicago gets cold would be an understatement. And this was a cold winter day, and snow covered the ground. But regardless, a masked gunman appeared, and even though Pappy was the intended target, 4 people ended up getting shot, including one that died, a 17-year-old boy. Pappy, however, escaped the situation unharmed. Then, months later, in July 2014, as his music was starting to blow up, Pappy was standing near a bus stop around West Devon Street in Glenwood and Rogers Park on the city's north side, while Will Lewis, a Guatemalan refugee who had come to the city and made a career for himself, stood and waited for the bus to arrive. But then, a man in his 30s, who had picked up 2 teenagers to do his dirty work, spotted Pappy near the bus stop, and he handed guns to the 2 teens in his car and instructed them to kill Pappy. But they missed and ended up killing Will Lewis. So in just 5 months, 5 people were shot and 2 killed just for being near him. And all of this heavily contributes to the theory that police, possibly just the ones in the precinct around Pappy's area on the north side, might have wanted him out the way. The police from Rogers Park to Uptown were very familiar with him, as he has so many mugshots you can actually watch him age just by flipping through them. And it was well known by authorities that he was involved in a gang war, and that these shootings that hurt other people were all targeting him. So let's try to look at this from the perspective of a disgruntled unit in a police precinct, and also the strange circumstances of his death. Now, 2 huge reasons the police appear suspicious in his death is because, according to his own brother, the police stopped by his mother's house after his death and told her that they were happy he was dead.
The police came by my mama's house to her face and told her.
Anybody, you know what I'm saying, it was been rumors that this was going on before he even did this interview, but this when he did the Vlad TV interview, this had to be like 10 years ago, bro. Like, 9 years ago or some shit like that.
They glad.
That's
Like, yeah,
sad.
they glad your son died.
And also, Pappy actually started his final day alive in jail.
Damn.
And I'm not sure just due to how many times
I
he
didn't know
went
that.
to jail, but I believe this time he was in jail due to the aftermath of his album release party, where over 150 people were present at his house, and it caused such a disturbance that everyone ended up being arrested or at least detained. Another thing that's unclear is how much time passed between him bonding out of jail and
when he
being
died.
murdered. But it was all the same night. Now, there
Damn.
was a police station just 10 minutes away from where he was killed, and his last arrest, if it did have something to do with this party, it would have probably just been a petty disturbing the peace charge. So he might not have been booked into the county jail, which
Right.
would have been over 30 minutes away from where he was killed.
California,
For
yeah.
the killers to know where he was the night he got out, it would have taken some kind of inside knowledge, whether that be a friend of the killer locked up in the same place as Pappy and then watching him get out, or a local police officer. It's not like unprofessional arrangements with the police are out of the ordinary. And as an officer or a crew of them were to have some plot against him, this would be the perfect circumstance to get it done. And as for the police telling his mother that they were happy he was gone, that doesn't necessarily mean they had anything to do with it, but it does go toward the point that the Northside police saw him as a problem on the streets.